It's Ronnie, and welcome to Dreamy December YouTube Hop with the paper crafting YouTubers from Facebook. And so I'm thinking dreamy, daydream, magical, that kind of thing. And I'm also doing a bonus wood grain in winter, so I will be using wood grain in my layout. And that is hosted by Janet and MK. So two things I'm going for on this layout. And this is a photo I'm going to scrap. You might have seen me scrap it last year, but I'm doing that album, and this was requested to go into that album. And it's a gift. It's a gift album. And I'm showing that recollection paper pad that Debbie gave me. And then I'm going to use the wood grain with the gold on it. And I did go ahead and use black since everything else in the album has black because of what everybody's wearing at the party. But there is going to be a few photos in there that is not actually the party, but December. And I have candy cane paper on all the others, so I will add a little bit to this layout too. And as continuing, it is 49 and Market Christmas Spectacular from last year. Maybe a little bit of something else mixed in, but mostly 49 and Market. And I have been wanting to use this big door. I've got two of them because I think they came in the cluster kits. And I thought, oh, I've got a way to use it this time. So I am using it on this layout. And so I only got one more to use, I think. I got another one of the cluster kits because I got it really cheap on Walmart. It was like a clearance thing marked down to a couple of dollars. So yeah, I grabbed it. Um, and here I wanted to put this picture wheel in there. Forgot all about it when I put my photo down. And so I moved it over, and I am not going to notice that damaged paper for a few minutes, but I will and take care of it. Well, cover it up because I really didn't want to move the photo back over. Then it'd be, I think, a little bit on top of the picture wheel. And I wanted to use that strip there. However, it's not going to make it in either place I try to put it. See, there's where I noticed it. And I thought, well, I'll get that lace trim and put on there because I have lots of them. And because I think it's like a whole package of lace trims that I bought. And so, yeah, there's plenty of those. And I'm going to just put it down the side there and cover up the disaster that I created. And that trim is pretty. There was several colors like red, green, and black, I think, maybe some other colors. But of course, I picked green. My title is Our Santa Visit. And so I seen this ho 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 because I was looking at the rub-ons thinking, what could I use on here? And well, I'm just going to slide it underneath my title. And you'll notice it's going to take me longer, and I'm going to be very careful because I forgot to cut off the Katie Petite down there at the bottom. And you know how sometimes you just touch the paper with these rub-ons and it sticks. So I was trying very hard to make sure that did not stick on there because I would have had to find a way to cover it up. Um, the Santa is one of the chipboard titles parts, so I thought I'd figure out a title to go with it. So it's Our Santa Visit. And I guess the ho ho ho's part of it. But yeah, Our Santa Visit. And that's my three of my grandkids. I had to count them, huh? And then two of their cousins, which are adorable kids and so much fun to have around. Um, I am making, this is the candy cane paper that I was talking about. And so I'm making a banner to go underneath the Here Comes Santa Claus. And I am inking it in the red. And you're probably wondering why I keep having those pads without the holders thingies. Well, I only have so many, and there was other colors on them. Well, I'm only going to ink this one thing. However, I will be inking another thing. And I did ink the Santa in advance. And here I thought I'd put up here in this corner I was covering up those red berries. Well, I ended up moving it over so a couple of the red berries end up showing. But I set this over to the side and plan on using it again. It disappears. I don't know where it goes. Even doing the video editing, I didn't notice when it disappeared. But I did take my 18-inch ruler and go under the shelving that is on the other side there, but it never came up. But it could have blown all the way through to the wall and down in the floor. But I did come up with a few embellishments when I pulled all that out. Well, there's only like 3 things, but because I do it fairly often, things disappear back there very quickly. Um, I wanted to use a star, a button, no, 2 stars and a button in each of my clusters. So I have all 3 in that one. And so I will end up adding them to a couple of more places. And here's my partial banner. I did think about cutting it on each end, but then I decided, well, it wouldn't be that noticeable by the time I got everything else on there, and it is not. So I just did it on the one side. And that little thing just says Merry and Bright. And I did layer it earlier, so it has red and then black behind it. And I wanted to use this poinsettia. Poinsettia. I pronounced it both ways myself and heard it both ways. I'm not sure which one it should be. I guess it depends on where you're at. But around here, it's just poinsettia. I put foam tape behind it and just overlapped the photo a little bit. So there's a couple places on those green leaves that only go halfway up. They don't go all the way up. The foam tape doesn't, because I wanted it to level out fairly decently. And I just love these stars. A couple of them are chipboard, but a couple of them are laser cuts. And so I'm just going to add them to the clusters. And those buttons, they are so adorable. And yeah, I definitely wanted to use them on here. Oh, and this tray here, in case you all are wondering, I don't empty it after, since I've got everything set out for using the Christmas Spectacular. I don't empty it after a layout. I just add to it. I figure everything's set out and I am just going to keep on making layouts. So rather than empty that every time, I just add to it. And some of the things I go ahead and use on the next layout or the one after or whatever. But yeah, that's why it looks so full. And I do have those little wishing bubbles, but none of them go on the layout. I thought they might, but they don't. Oh, and this cluster here, I first thought I'd make my cluster on the door. And then I thought, well, I'd like to have a picture wheel on there. So I cut one out and put it on there. And so it was kind of debatable which one was going to end up with the cluster for a little while there. But the wheel ended up winning out, and I'm putting my little cluster there. And I think I ended up putting all 3 the red. I had some of the black out, the buttons. I mean, I was thinking it, but not talking about it, the button. And so, yeah, they're all 3 red ones on there. But that's it. That's my layout. So I want to make sure y'all check down there below for the links for the paper crafting YouTubers for the December Dreamy Hop, and also the playlist for the Woodgrain and Winter, and for Christmas layouts with Woodgrain on them. And that's all you have to do for that one. But yeah, I thought a visit with Santa Claus. I always daydreamed when I visited Santa when I was a kid and thought about the North Pole and the workshop and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's where the Dreamy comes in on this layout. And there's my bottom cluster, and there's the one with the Merry and Bright and the poinsettias. Settias. One or the other. Let me know down there which way you pronounce it, if you can figure out a way to spell that, and let me know. But yeah, there's my title, Our Visit with Santa. And I did move those letters around a little bit before I took the photos because they were kind of on the crooked side. And there's my last little cluster. But I want to thank you all so very, very much for joining me while I created this layout today. And I hope you go down there and check out everybody else's layouts. The paper crafting YouTubers could be something else. It does not have to be a layout. But have a happy, scrappy day, and I'll see you tomorrow with Secret Santa 12 Days of Christmas Hop. Bye.